Our first item of the day is this story. For over a decade, fans of the comic book character Spawn have wondered if we'd ever see the former assassin turned Hellspawn return to the big screen again. Well, according to Spawn creator Todd McFarlane, a new Spawn film could possibly be shooting as early as next year. In a recent interview, McFarlane said the following: "The thing that keeps slowing it down is that the negotiation I've done is that I write, produce, direct, but I've got to push a lot of my other endeavors off of the side so that I can get tunnel vision on it. And so everybody in my company is now going, we've got to find Todd the time to finish all this. It's not going to be a giant budget with a lot of special effects. It's going to be more of a horror movie and a thriller movie, not a superhero one." So, John, buy or sell a new Spawn movie with McFarlane directing?
I got to sell it. I'm one of these guys who I have been curious about seeing another incarnation of Spawn on the big screen. And to be honest, what McFarlane is describing sounds pretty intriguing. Not really a superhero film, more of a horror thriller kind of thing, more of a lower budget kind of thing. That sounds intriguing. Why am I selling it? Because he says he's going to write, produce, and direct it. The last time a really great and celebrated comic book author directed a film was Miller. Remember when he did The Spirit?
Yes.
Dear God. And, you know, Miller, who sat in the little boy's director chair beside Rodriguez when they made Sin City, thought, oh, now I can be a director. No, you can't. Continue to be a genius comic book writer, but you are no director. And at some point, McFarlane has come to believe that he can write, produce, and direct. I can direct this. And I think that is going to be a disaster. I hope it's not. I'm going to check it out. I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to give it a chance. Absolutely, and go into it with an open mind. But in advance, I think this has disaster written all over it. So for me, it's a sell. Amy Rose?
Yes, of course you're going to use Frank Miller as the example. That's a whole other debate. But anyway, I am going to buy it because I do think that, I really like what he's describing. And, you know, what I like about Spawn is that he's not this character that has been created, you know, for decades. He's a fairly newer character in the 90s.
Yeah, relatively new, yeah.
Yeah, in the 90s. And I like the idea of the creator, you know, single-handedly trying to bring his vision to the big screen like that. And obviously he's a solid writer. And, you know, Frank Miller is a whole other case. I mean, he pretty much tried to mirror Rodriguez's style in The Spirit. It wasn't even his own style. He tried to mirror it. So he was kind of copying that
But
anyway.
couldn't an argument be made that Rodriguez was just mirroring Miller's comic book style? So wasn't Rodriguez just trying to mirror Miller in the first place?
That could be it's a good argument, but
Mind
blown.
Just got real meta up in here. Did you guys ever think
about
about
screen? It's a whole different ballpark than, you know, having come alive. And I love Rodriguez as a director. I loved Sin City, and Miller also is not much of a collaborator. Everything I've read or seen about him. So I'm hoping that McFarlane is, and from what it sounds like, he's a fairly humble guy. Again, this is all speculation from what I've read and seen. So I'm hoping that he takes, you know, people who maybe might be a little more polished in directing and all of this stuff and actually collaborate with them, opposed to Miller, where he's very much my way or the highway. So I'm optimistic.